What's up, guys? I'm here to tell you about Powerbomb TV. Powerbomb TV is a brand new professional wrestling streaming service. It's kind of like the Netflix for professional wrestling, but specifically, it is for independent professional wrestling. It features over 64 independent wrestling promotions from around the world, including Beyond Wrestling, Nova Pro, AIW Mid-South, Black Label Pro, which I just watched a crazy Black Label event on Powerbomb TV just a few hours ago. And starting November 1st, Absolute Intense wrestling events will be available on Powerbomb TV. They have very simple and affordable pricing. It is $10 per month or $100 for the entire year, and that'll save you $20 if you sign up for the entire year up front. But Powerbomb TV wants you to try it before you buy it. So head over to powerbomb.tv and sign up using promo code ABSOLUTE, and they're going to give you an extended 20-day free trial. And if you stay signed up beyond the 20 days, Powerbomb TV is going to kick a little bit of that money back to us so we can put it towards future live AIW events. So head over to powerbomb.tv, sign up using promo code ABSOLUTE, and enjoy the service for 20 days. There's endless amounts of footage for you to watch. And as of November 1st, through the deal with SmartMark Video, they are going to get so much more content. I encourage everybody to live tweet Wicked Hannahman. All right, enjoy the podcast.
The following podcast is brought to you by the Ebb Tide Treatment Center. Many people wrestle with addiction. You don't have to. Reach out to the Ebb Tide Treatment Center, where they wish to empower each individual encountered with the support, hope, and tools required for long-term sobriety, priding themselves on providing the best possible treatment experience for you and your loved ones based on unique needs. They're committed to breaking the stigma that plagues those suffering with addiction and their families by educating and bringing awareness to the community. The Ebb Tide Treatment Center provides individual and group therapy, multiple recovery pathways for support, evidence-based clinical support, integrated aftercare social reintegration, personalized treatment planning, program addressing whole life health, and Vivitrol program, all available. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, reach out to them at ebbtidetc.com or call 844-430-4357. Hello once again, everybody. Welcome to AIW's The Card is Going to Change. We have a fun episode in store for you, recapping one of our more recent shows. And before we get to that, thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to Angelo's Pizza, who feeds us here while we record, and of course, feeds you when you buy their pizza at one of our live events at Mount Carmel. If you want to visit Angelo's Pizza at their actual restaurant location, head to Angelo's on Madison Avenue in Lakewood, Ohio. And of course, thanks to SmartMark Video, they were there to record the show that we're about to talk about, as they are at all of our live events, so that you can then see them through an MP4 digital stream or buying it on DVD. For that, head to smartmarkvideo.com. And of course, as always, thanks to Jack Prince, who takes care of all of our flyers, our t-shirt printing needs, and anything else that we do. They can do all the same for you and more. For more information on that, head to jackprince.com.
Is that JAKPrince.com?
What? It's not always that somebody asks me that, but yes, that is the Duke. The voice you just heard, as I just said, is the Duke. Follow him on Twitter, ladies. Duke1279.
Three times in a row.
My goodness.
Podcast might not even exist. The listenership will
Ratings
might be so
killer.
Things are
the
going.
lady killer and the ratings killer.
Oh, the lady.
The lady
No,
killer.
I was trying to give you since that's what you guys talk about.
Oh, okay.
Just trying to throw you a bone there.
Look at that.
I do well.
Yeah, so the other voice you've now heard, of course, is John Thorne, AIW owner, and my name is Steve Guy, your moderator of sorts here on this episode as we recap AIW's Cool as Ice, which took place September at Mount Carmel in Cleveland. And what a show it was. We had Dean Malenko was our special guest.
Dino Machino.
How was Dean Malenko? I did not get a chance to speak to him.
He's a nice guy. I got to pick him up from the hotel. Gave him
a lot of like dry humor.
Yeah, very
really?
dry. Very dry.
Like uncomfortably dry humor. Like then he would laugh, and then you know it was okay to laugh because like he's so serious. You don't know if he's telling a joke or not.
That's the one negative, and I know I shouldn't even say it's a negative because I'm sure these dudes just want to get the hell out of there, but Like when Anderson came in for Absolution and then Malenko, they don't hang around.
Yeah.
Like Booker T hung around a little bit. Scott Hall hung around a little bit. Terry Funk obviously hung around the whole time. So
all night.
talking about like super huge names that have come in. Those guys didn't really hang around. It's kind of disappointing.
You got to think though. I mean, outside of Booker T, like, these guys are on the road all the time.
Oh, of course they don't want. I mean, obviously they don't want. They want to get paid. They want to get out of there. They want to do what their obligation is. And that's it. I get it. I'm just saying it's unfortunate that they didn't say, "Oh, maybe I'll watch the show a little bit." Or
he had to go right back out to the West Coast, I think it was, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he was telling me that on the way.
That's not a knock. I'm just saying it's disappointing.
Understood. But before we even got to Cool as Ice, as always, we run into things ahead of time. We had some cancellations off the show. But
I guess the first one would be the Duke was canceled.
The Duke was canceled.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, I was. Eric Ryan in all his beefed up glory, hurt himself. And
well, even before that, it's initially supposed to be we were going to do a tag team of Tolar and Schultz.
That's right. Okay.
With you as their Bobby the Brain Heenan to their Brain Busters. Mike Tolar has gotten himself some new employment. I don't know what his future holds in the squared circle.
We don't know if you'll see those shiny pockets again, folks.
Pockets are lined with cash now from his new job. He's from my pocket anymore.
Good for him.
He got himself a good job. So the door's always open for Tolar, but he's had some real life obligations the last couple shows.
Got tired of doing your dirty work, Duke.
So then
I do my own dirty work sometimes.
So then I decide, okay, well, we'll just not announce it, and we'll just have Schultz and Duke kind of be this new tag team, and see how it goes against the young studs. Well, then Eric Ryan, the day before the event, tells me he's hurt himself. He's not sure if it's from wrestling or working out.
I could probably guarantee you it's from working out because he's small and he's angry, and so he lifts heavy things that he shouldn't lift all the time.
Well, all right. You were once in shape.
I was once in shape. That is very true. I never tore anything, though. He seems to tear things very often.
So he is forced to cancel. So I just say, sorry, Duke. You're gonna have to sit this one out.
Not only did I not have the match, but I didn't even get sent out with Schultz.
You did not.
Eric, in his fired up glory, went out with
Eric did
Bobby.
go out with Bobby Beverly.
Yeah,
because Bobby Beverly and Sean Schultz.
Well, the thing was I wanted to debut this new thing as a unit, as a team, and then Tolar's out, and then putting you in there just seemed kind of like a filler. You know what I mean? To where I wanted this.
Well, we had a good story for it, but yeah, I mean,
I wanted to establish this. So I figured, okay, something's not wanting this to work. Let's just scrap this idea. And just kind of, it's kind of like let's cut our losses on this one, and just let's just have Schultz and Bobby Beverly do a singles, not announce it, give the crowd a little extra surprise, and we'll go from there.
They enjoyed it. It was a fun match. People enjoyed, appreciated that, and then
Matt Cross.
I was going to say we had another cancellation. Matt Cross supposed to be in a 10-man tag with some of the vets, the Lucha vets, I guess, if you're going to describe them as anything, plus Ethan Page, and taking on the young kids.
You've seen his new indie gifts now. He's the the Canadian luchador.
Yeah, I suppose he is.
That'll be a T-shirt. The Canadian luchador.
You're welcome. Royalties again, Ethan Page. Need my 25 cents a shirt.
Everyone tweet Ethan Page that he's now the Canadian luchador.
Canadian luchador.
Ethan
if
Page.
I can think of a better combination, I'll come up with it later in the show.
That's not bad, Duke. That was pretty good there. I like that.
So yeah, M-Dog. Well, first I hear from Remix Pro, who says they had M-Dog booked to wrestle Bully Ray. And they say, hey, M-Dog, has M-Dog canceled yet? I said, no, I haven't heard from him. And he said, well, he posted on social media that he has chickenpox, which now with, Biggins being gone and like I have to do all the AIW stuff plus a real life job and real life, I'm I'm not as up on my social media.
See,
as
it's not easy when you got the real job, as I said last week.
It's so like I'm not as up as I once was, because Biggins would give me like a full report. You know what I mean? We called it the Finkel report. He would tell me everything that was happening in wrestling, everything that was happening in every promotion. You know what I mean? Like, and so I am oblivious to this chickenpox news. And I go, well, he hasn't said anything to me. You know what I mean? And so they're trying to figure out people to book and stuff. And then I finally hear from M-Dog on Wednesday. Yeah, I think Wednesday. He says, hey, man, I was like trying to hold it out, to see how it would go. But I have chickenpox and my whole body is still covered in chickenpox, and this is miserable. And it's like chickenpox, I guess, are real serious if you get them as an adult.
Yeah, if you get them as an adult, it's terrible. Yeah.
And he says, I was hoping that, they said it could be cleared up by the weekend, but it's not looking like it. I'm sorry. So, I'm thinking like, fuck it. You know what I mean? I'll figure something out, like it's a 5-on-5. There'll be people there, you know what I mean? That can, fucking, that could fill in for
like the Duke.
Yeah. I mean, Indy Duke.
Good of, hey.
The North Olmsted luchador.
That's right. I got a balcony I can jump off of.
But and then of course Chase Oliver, still injured, still kind of on the shelf, still a little weary of returning to the ring after his accident at.
He had nothing.
I almost called it Tequila Jacks, the Music Links.
The Music Links.
Funky Frog.
He had worked a different show as well, so he, couple of concussions there in a very short time frame. Nothing to mess with. Fair enough.
And he's a little rattled.
Yeah.
So he's kind of on an indefinite. He has no timetable of returning to the ring, which getting injured so new into this career, it could. You know what I mean? It's
right.
There's a lot that you have to get over. Not only the actual injury, but just like mentally, prepare yourself to.
Yeah, especially
to wrestle like he does.
Yeah, and because he does a lot of obviously risky stuff, and now as foggy as you become after some serious concussions, now you're also dealing with the mental fact, like, okay, well, every time if I take a bump, is my head gonna hurt? Is this gonna happen? I'm sure there's some things that get to.
Yeah, so he can't do that. So I figure like, hey, you know what I mean? This is a good opportunity to reach out to another young guy that's been doing very well. Let's toss MM3 Malcolm Monroe III in there. He's good. I thought that he's he kind of is in the same boat as these young AIW students, to where he's young and hungry, and he's good. And B, I thought that he would work very well with all the high flyers on the opposite team.
Yeah,
including the Canadian Luchador.
X Division champ, future X Division champion.
He's a free agent now.
I know. That's what I heard. He's evolved.
So yeah, we have to deal with those cancels. I believe that's it for all the cancellations.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, I think that was it for the cancellation.
And plus, I know we're doing the seminar earlier in the day, so there was quite a bit of prominent indie names that came to learn from Dean Malenko. So there was people. I knew that there was going to be people bopping around. So I wasn't super concerned with M-Dog canceling.
And we'll get to how he's replaced momentarily. But as you said, cancellation, I thought of one other thing, because the second match on this card, and you can just clear the air on this now, is Britt Baker, Faye Jackson. So you have a female match. People, of course, naturally are going to wonder, was Shayna not allowed to be on this card, and was she originally supposed to, or was that just you planned to have Britt and Faye to have a fun match in there?
Yeah, Shayna was never booked for this show. I like kind of spacing out the women's title matches. If you look, she's not on every show. She's on every couple shows. This was just kind of like, we're coming out of Absolution. This was more like as a kind of like a thank you or whatever to like, let's get back to normal with Britt Baker after having to do the Hornswoggle thing and her she was initially not very comfortable doing it and very like kind of just kind of nervous about doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Apprehensive and nervous and not, it was booked to be a learning experience for her. So this was kind of like her and Faye are good friends. I know Faye is initially from Cleveland. Faye is probably going to draw some people in. This is just, let's have a women's match on the show. You know what I mean? And no Shayna. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things being discussed about Shayna. I don't know what's true and what's not true. You know what I mean? She hasn't indicated to me either way, what her status is as the AIW Women's Champion right now.
That was Steve Guy's sly way of bringing that up.
Oh, I know. I know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been doing this for a while, pal.
That's Steve Guy's not so subtle way of saying, is she going to be able to come back? And
no, we've been doing this together for a while now. Almost a year now that John Thorne and I have been sitting down and podcasting.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that get reported, and there's a lot of things that end up falling through. There's a lot of things that are misinformed. You know what I mean?
And people have already asked and are going to ask. So, I mean, at this point, look, the title has not been vacated. Shayna is still our AIW Women's Champion.
Yeah, you know what I mean? To be fair, I'm not bothering her with those questions either. You know what I mean? It's just kind of, you know what I mean? Let's see what happens. If she does go, I'll figure that out when I need to figure it out. But
he was just trying to cut to the heart of the matter. That's all he was trying to do.
Well,
there it is.
I get that. I'm giving you what I know.
Right.
And
I will say, and I don't think I told her this yet, and I forgot that I was going to, but there were some boos to Britt Baker in this match.
To his point, probably more so because Faye is from Cleveland.
Yeah,
that could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Faye had a lot of people.
Because I heard him too.
Did you hear? Okay.
And I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was like,
okay.
Anybody else hear this? Yeah.
Because she wasn't so much getting cheered because she was from Pittsburgh. The last time it was because she was working Hornswoggle.
Right.
So this time I think it was a situation where Faye had some people in the audience.
She did, yes.
Yeah, that's 100% what it was. Yeah. I mean,
or people finally realized the point I was making from J-Lit when I said, "Why are you cheering for this girl who's from Pittsburgh?"
It was the NFL oprning weekend. The Browns played the Steelers.
My God.
So maybe, but
fans.
We say Punxsutawney, so she's just the mayor of Britsburg.
But it says Britsburg. It doesn't say Britsatawney. So I mean,
I think it should.
Well, it probably should.
She's really missing the ball in that.
Yeah. I don't think she can spell Britsatawney.
Britsatawney. I don't know how you would. Yeah.
I went to Punxsutawney once to go to a party for Groundhog's Day.
How was that?
Yeah, I remember.
I missed the whole fucking thing.
Oh,
Shocker.
Man.
I didn't know that. Like, I thought it was like an all day thing. You know what I mean?
No, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Like really
as
soon as the light happens. Yeah.
I know, but like I thought the party would go on all day because that's like their
people
day.
Go to work then.
Yeah.
Well, I got there about 10 a.m. The party was over.
Yeah, they go about their day.
Yeah,
I had to walk.
For them, it's old hat.
Maybe some polka music by 10 a.m. Some breakfast.
I was going off like I saw this Viva La Bam episode once, and it was like a big party. So I was like,
okay, well, there's your problem. You're basing real life on Viva La Bam.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so this is what we did in the middle of the night. We drove to Punxsutawney, and we got there.
Did you see Britt Baker?
No, I didn't know Britt Baker. This is
maybe he didn't know.
Maybe
he may have. Yeah.
This is probably over 10 years ago.
Smooth with ladies. Probably tried to pick her up at the.
Could have seen Britt Baker and her crew and the whole crew.
Oh, SPAC?
The Pittsburgh Punxsutawney crew.
I wish I saw SPAC there.
Ooh. I don't know who that one is.
Ooh.
Oh.
I might know who it is, but I don't remember.
You stay away, brother.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
I do know who it is then.
She's gonna be so excited. She got the podcast shout
SPAC.
out.
Ooh, that's the one.
Okay,
that's
SPAC it is.
That's the one for me. But
SPAC it in.
But all I did was I ended up walking around Punxsutawney with a Vietnam veteran named Art, and he just showed me the sites, which was like the 3 bars in town.
I was gonna say, how many sites are there in Punxsutawney?
That's not
besides the Groundhog Hole.
Yeah.
Goes out. This is where they filmed the movie Groundhog Day. This is our bar, and this is our other bar.
There you go.
I bought a T-shirt and I went home.
All right. Cool story, bro.
So the next match that we get to on the card here actually sees the debut of somebody in AIW. It's Frankie Flynn taking on PB Smooth. The production comes out with Frankie, then they get banned from ringside, and we end up seeing Magnum CK emerging from the crowd.
Yes, Magnum CK. He's a hot prospect, dude.
Yeah. Joining the production. So the production grows even further.
Unknown until right this moment, correct? Because they didn't announce him and they didn't.
No, he was a surprise.
He was a surprise.
I mean, named obviously at this moment. But
yes.
For the people that didn't know who he was at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, there were definitely people who did not know who he was, and that was Magnum CK. Derek Director and Colby Red came out. They were on the ramp. Magnum CK jumps out from the crowd, takes out PB Smooth.
Yeah, and a little, fact about Magnum CK, he is a legit traveling theater actor. I mean, that's what he does outside of wrestling.
That's right.
He was actually supposed to debut at Absolution. However, he had a contract for a play in which he could not get out of. You know what I mean?
Didn't he have an understudy?
He was in a different production.
Oh, so
an understudy like Rochelle.
So this is Magnum CK. He's a guy that actually him and Biggins became friends through. I don't know if they just talked online or what, but they became really good friends. And I remember I met Magnum CK for the first time at Remix Pro the day when Biggins' heart stopped, things like that. And I had to take Shayna to her booking at Remix Pro. I met him for the first time, and he sat and talked to me for a while, and just like everybody else, never seen him wrestle. He's a big guy, and I just thought, ever since that conversation we had that day, I was like, he was always in the back of my head of, if something comes up and our idea comes up, I was trying to think of something for him, and this production thing was actually originally thought of just for him. And when he couldn't do it because of his play, that's when Colby and Derek Director, who was the brainchild of Aaron Bauer, that's when they got involved, and then turned into a much larger idea.
What do you think about this production, Duke?
I think it's fine. I mean, I think it's good that it gets people on the show and it gets them a spot. I think they need a producer. That's what I think.
Oh,
could be you. You're looking for a spot.
You want to fund the production?
The only thing they don't have is a producer, a money man. That's what I think they need.
You are a money man.
Somebody's got to pay for these productions.
Oh,
but
wow.
It's nice that Derek, because he's a good kid, and it's nice that he gets a spot because he's talented. And he's pretty funny, and he'll do anything that you ask him to do. And I don't know much about Colby, but he seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders.
I wish you would have pitched me this producer thing at the show. I would have went with that.
Oh well,
I'm intrigued now.
Okay, well there you go.
Got other shows.
And then
we didn't fold.
I don't know. Like same thing with you. I only know of Magnum CK because he used to team with Jock, and so from following him on Twitter and stuff like that,
right.
I would see them together. And I mean, if he teams with Jock, I love Jock. I'll give him, give him the nod.
But my thought process is he's a really above averagely sized guy.
Oh yeah.
For indie wrestling. So I thought, what Frankie Flynn needs to get himself a big brother in there to take out PB Smooth.
Well, no pun intended, but he needs a leg breaker.
Yeah.
And Derek isn't one. I mean, Derek's a goofy character, and Colby could be one, but Magnum's,
he's just a bigger,
taller than him.
Right.
Yeah. So the next match we get to is the one that M-Dog has to cancel on. He's got the chicken pox. It's our 10-man tag. It's no consequences. And again, we threw MM3 in there. And then it's the luchadors, including the Canadian luchador, Ethan Page, -1.
The name's going to stick, by the way.
Yeah. So they now need a fifth man.
Well, and I guess I'll talk about how this comes together.
Yeah.
Is, Grado's flying in a day early, so he's got to fly in on Thursday, just because, especially with international people, we try to get them in, with enough time. You know
Sure,
what I mean?
especially because if there are any delays or anything.
Right. Or if their flight's at midnight, they know which night.
Yep.
At midnight it's
Oh,
on.
that wasn't an international talent.
No, I know. Well, it was sort of. It was an international guy, but it was from
No,
California.
it's American.
Well, no, he's
He's American, brother.
that's debatable.
But anyway, he's flying in, and he's obviously just talking to people or whatever, on his Wi-Fi on his flight. And I get a text from EC3, and he says, "Bring Grado to the Indians game tonight." I said, "What?" He said, "I'm going to the Indians game. Bring Grado." I said, "You're in town?" He said, "Yeah." So it just so happened my friend Jimbo Sanka and Nick Sanka, the bartender, they had
cousin Jimbo.
They had 2 extra Indians tickets.
Just so happened.
Just so happened.
They are avid fans.
Some of the best stories start with "just so happened."
So they had 2 extra tickets. So I pick up Grado and we go. I drop him. He checks into his hotel. We call an Uber. We go straight down to Progressive Field. I almost called it Jacobs Field.
That's all right.
That's okay.
Most
Nobody
people
would
do.
fault you for that.
Yeah.
And we go to the Indians game. As soon as we walk in, Grado buys himself a fucking like $35 Indians block seat.
I think he said only his second baseball game ever.
Oh, he had no idea about the first baseball game. He was totally oblivious to baseball or what it is. Like, I guess they don't have baseball in Scotland.
No, they do not. They
cricket-
have caber tossing.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. He was trying to explain to me the sports that they have there, and I didn't get it.
They have Highland games and soccer.
Well, it's awfully difficult to understand a lot of things he explains.
That's very true.
So we get in, and he's just buying beers and hot dogs and buying hats, and he's like, "This is what you do at baseball, right? Hot dogs, beers, hats."
He's accurate. Yeah.
And we go and we sit in this. We had bleacher seats. We sit in the seats for like 1 inning, and then Grado was just talking to every fucking person that will look at him, and then
I'm sure none of them understood a word he said either.
oh no, he could talk in perfect American accent if you asked him to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he could do an American accent.
Oh okay.
He's
great.
He's an actor. He's on a sitcom. Did you know that?
He's a big deal.
No, is he?
He's a
Yeah.
big deal in
No, I didn't
Scotland.
know
Yeah.
that.
He's on the Scott Squad. It's on the BBC network.
Oh, is that like that? Is it a prank show or is it a?
No, he's
sitcom?
like a cop.
That's what that's not a prank show.
No,
or
it's-
anything? Okay. All right.
He's Scott Squad. But so then we go and we meet up with EC3, and he sure enough is in town. And Grado gets very invested in the baseball game. That's the game where they break the record and they win 22.
22.
And then Hutter's like, yeah, I think I'm going to come to the show tomorrow. I'm in town for the weekend. And I was like, well, I got a spot.
Speaking of the show,
I say, let's fuck it. Let's just not announce it. Let's just, it'll be a nice little spot, nice little pop surprise. And, that's what we did.
That's exactly what it was. Everybody was very happy for him to come back. That was his, as I said then, his first time back in over a year. He was there for Absolution 11, and then that was it.
Yeah. So
We hadn't seen him since.
there it is. And, I thought the match was very good. It's a good learning experience for a lot of these young guys to get in there. At first they were going to be doing pretty much thought to be all high flying, and then they get, half luchadors and half, TV style.
4/5 luchadors,
Yeah.
really.
And 4/5 luchadors and a TV star.
EC3 is not a luchador.
No, yeah,
But 4/5 of that team was
because he had the
luchadors.
the Canadian luchador.
So I thought it went well. You know what I mean?
Did he not get the win with a swanton?
He did.
Canadian luchador.
He did.
Yeah, they and
You want to rename that somehow? The
Give me a
Swanton?
minute.
Okay.
what are you gonna call it, the poutine bomb?
Not now.
Oh man, that's good too.
So yeah, I thought the match went well, and I thought that was a good way to send us into intermission.
That's where we were, and we came out of intermission, and young MJF found his way back into AIW.
Well, I did it that way too, so EC3 could sell some gimmicks. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, we set him up in the
Dean Malenko spot.
Dean Malenko spot.
It's a good spot to be in.
Yeah,
because Dean wasn't coming back.
that's right. He was done for the night. MJF rolls out after intermission.
And before I even get to that, I just thought of there was some guy. He just kept coming in the locker room, and he was like, "Where's Dean Malenko?" And I was like, "Dude, he's gone." And he's like, "I got all this stuff for him to sign." I said, "Well, you should have been here from 6 to 7:30."
If anyone says I got all this stuff from the sign, escort them out of the building.
And he was like,
go, get the fuck out of
He's
here.
like, "I'll give you $500 if you tell me where his hotel is." And I'm like, "Dude, I'm not doing that." Like,
Yeah.
So I can sell the shit on eBay. And
Right.
that's what it was.
Get a
He had-
fucking
exactly
job.
what it was. Yeah.
He's like, "I came here prepared to spend $500 on him to sign all this stuff," and I said, "Well, you should have been here from fucking 6 to 7:30, dude."
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna risk pissing him off by telling you where his hotel is so you can bother him.
Yeah, and I will say this: we opened the doors on time.
Fuck yeah, we did.
So that line was pretty short the entire time because people were constantly coming
Yeah, it
in,
was.
and we timed it all very well.
This guy got there at 7:45 and it was done. You know what I mean?
bad.
Too bad,
He's like,
buddy.
he said he drove all these hours, and I said, well, sorry, like, I don't know what to tell you.
Left earlier.
Should have left earlier.
Yeah.
Dean Malenko fulfilled all of his obligations.
Where's his hotel? Oh, let me get that for you.
Should have made that stop at Sheets after the show, not before.
Right. So yeah, that was just a little thing that I just remembered. That guy offered me $500 for his hotel information.
Could have told him the wrong hotel.
The old Thorne would have done that. Not the new over 30 responsible John.
Could have sent him to the Hojo.
Did that ever open up?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Did we ever get a follow up on that?
I'm not sure because we haven't been to that Bob Evans in a while either.
No, we might have
That's
to.
a shame.
So,
I should periodically visit every Bob Evans.
Oh, I guess so.
We might have to swing by.
Yeah.
Had Bob Evans for lunch today, by the way. It was delicious.
Oh yeah. Did you get the chicken and noodle soup?
I did not. The person I was with today, I got the turkey and dressing.
Ooh, the person you were with, huh?
Yeah.
I was at work.
So
Was it a lady?
It was a lady that I work with.
Oh, a little.
No.
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 Ah. Okay.
What do they call that? What do they call that in the movies?
Don't
A
dip your pen in the
nooner.
Company Inc.
What do they call it? What?
A nooner.
Oh yeah.
Well, that is what they
Little
call
afternoon delight?
sexual activity at noon, yes.
Yeah.
But no, not at Bob Evans.
That's what that song Afternoon
There's a lot
Delight's
of
about.
activity, but none of it's sexual at Bob Evans.
You didn't
at
dip those biscuits?
noon. No. Here we go. We have a lot of food references, sexual food references.
Sausage
Okay.
gravy.
No. Come on, Steve Guy. Don't join in.
So anyway, we come back from intermission, or as some of us like to call it, Bob Evans at noon
Yes.
for a work meeting, and MJF standing in the ring, and out comes Matthew Justice.
MJF, just a little surprise. I figured, every now and then, let's not announce every match and everyone that's
You
going to
didn't
be there.
announce 3 or 4 matches on this show.
Yeah, we had a few.
I think 2, and then
least
EC3
2.
was a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 2 that weren't announced.
Yeah, the first match was not announced, and this one was not announced.
I figured, we can do that every now and then and see how it goes. I figured that would also be a good way to get MJF, could really establish himself and cut a scathing promo, and Matthew Justice is always a easy pop.
Matthew Justice coming out guns a-blazing when he comes through the curtain.
Man, he's
Pretty much every time.
Bringing it fucking hardcore.
Right.
Poor MJF, man. Did not know what he signed
I'm
up
still
for.
feeling it.
Every start is pretty much a hot start for Matthew Justice.
Oh, and it never. It's you expect it to flame out like a bright star. It's better to burn out than fade away. That motherfucker never burns out. He just keeps going.
Hey, man, you're over when Smart Mark Gary comes to the office and says, I'm really impressed with Matthew Justice these last couple months.
Because he's not in there with him. Getting smacked around.
Smart Mark Gary really put him over to me the other day.
Smart Mark Gary's getting a little big for his britches. He chimes up a lot now. He didn't used to do that.
Man,
Maybe we talked about him too much on the podcast.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
He knows-
shit on me on one of the Facebook posts
Well-
about I was like, Smart Mark Gary, that's not cool.
Shannon and Gary were not at this show, actually. oddly
Yeah,
enough.
but I'm saying in the past, Smart Mark Gary
yeah.
came.
Yeah.
Smart Mark Gary came and said he was really impressed with Matthew Justice in the ring.
Sometimes he wears the wrestler's gear. He wore Eddie's
did?
jacket
He did.
while filming.
Put Smart Mark Gary in the ring with Matt Justice and then see what he says about him afterwards.
Wore one of
I'm going to
Eric
put you in
Ryan's
there.
hats.
With,
Oh no, I'm hurt. Ow, I tore something.
that's going to be your return.
hell no.
Duke's got chicken pox.
Absolutely not. I got chicken pox. I tore something, and my flight. I left at midnight, and I can't
Yep.
make it.
we got to set up some bar shows and get Duke versus Matthew Justice working on top
Fuck that.
of the C loop.
No way.
Main event. You. No?
I'm busy. I can't make it.
Yeah, he goes hard. Poor fucking MJF, man.
What's up, everybody? Alex Worldwide Keller here to tell you all about at Thrift Store Jobber on Instagram, Etsy, eBay, you name it, he has it. And today, guys, I got to tell you, fall done fell. Fall fell straight on its ass into winter just about. It's cold as hell, and thankfully, the Thrift Store Jobber, he has for you these beautiful WWF scarves. Look warm as frick and fresh to death from 1993 and 1996, respectively, sold separately. Find them at Thrift Store Jobber on Instagram and use Worldwide in the promo code to get 10% off your order.
Oh, Diesel Cool, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Heartbreaker, Red Hot, show 'em how. Uh-oh, here comes Vader now. Ahmed Johnson's muscles huge, Hunter Helmsley's blood is blue. Yokozuna from Japan, Bulldog Englishman, Warriors back and taking names. Goldust is mad as strange. Godwin's like you can't forget.
The next match is one of the ones that everybody came to see. We already said Grado was going to be there. The tag title match to Infinity Beyond, taking on Grado and Colt Cabana. We got the Scottish Destroyer, as it was dubbed.
As seen on Impact Wrestling Television.
Yes, we did.
As seen on Impact Wrestling Television.
Did
That's
they show
right.
the Destroyer?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I saw that clip. I don't remember.
Jeremy Borash was in the house doing some production work for television.
I was stunned that every match actually had a 3 count in it because the refs were all infatuated with the fact that Jeremy Borash was there, except Tom Dunn.
Yeah, Tom Dunn didn't
wasn't
care.
angling for anything.
Jay Clemens and David the Potato, they were infatuated that Jeremy Borash and Sonjay Dutt were there, hoping that, and they also both asked at separate different times about getting a job in Impact Wrestling.
Oh yeah, hey, good for them. If they asked, they good for them.
I did have to bust the chops on Sonjay because I was talking to him earlier in the show or before the show started, and he's like, "Oh, it's so good to see you." He's like, "It's my favorite voice on AIW podcast," and I was like, "Well, I mean, heard you know a guy. I could be your favorite voice on Impact Wrestling as well."
Oh, jeez,
everybody, man.
Steve Guy, you sank to Jake Clemens level.
No, I just want to say that just to get the Sonjay pop, and it worked.
Yeah, well, good.
And I was like, just kidding about it.
Yeah, but Borash was there. I mean, he was doing production work for TNA all week, or Impact Wrestling for all weekend.
Yeah.
I was mesmerized by how quickly this guy works. He was shooting things, and then
sends it off to someone.
But some of the times he was editing it right there. Like he was shooting things at UXWA on that Sunday, and like he had a drone going and everything else. And
yeah,
then
he was filming. It looked like.
Well, once you get funding,
it reminded me. Well, yeah. You get that Smashing Pumpkins money.
Yeah.
You got nice editing equipment.
Smashing Pumpkins has been long gone.
now you got that Anthem money.
Where you been, man? Smashing Pumpkins bought the NWA today.
Oh, I don't know. I don't keep track of what the fuck he does.
It happened now, yeah.
Yeah, so Smashing Pumpkins has been out of TNA for almost a year.
All right.
Now it's Anthem.
They still got the money.
They did get that
They
money.
still got his money.
Billy just bought the National Wrestling Alliance.
Oh, well, good for him. But no, it was funny because you're saying at UXWA, I was looking out the window getting ready to go out, and Grado's in the parking lot doing calisthenics for like a half an hour, and he's just filming them. Dude, it was like the scene in Monty Python and the Holy Grail when Sir Lancelot's running from the woods, and all they keep showing is him running, and that was all Grado was doing, was just running in the parking lot over and over again for like a half an hour.
Grado was so tired.
I know. I was watching him and I was
blown
tired.
up.
I'm like,
So
holy
tired.
shit. He's doing squats and jumping jacks, and he's running in place, and he's running, and he's doing all this other bullshit.
So I don't know when that's going to air, but I mean, you might on Impact Wrestling Television see Grado running out of the woods. It'll probably be 1 second of footage.
Yeah.
It went on for
It was a half an hour.
at least a half hour.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was, I will say, at the after party at one point, and they were leaving, a certain AIW fan, I won't name him, I won't embarrass him, but he says, "That guy, you see that guy? Looks a lot like Jeremy Borash." I was like, yeah, it's a reason for that.
Thank God if it's an annoying fan, he didn't think it was Jeremy Borash. But no, their match, as you said, he did the Scottish Destroyer or whatever. That, to me, the funniest part of that whole thing was Colt convincing him to do it with Cheech.
With Cheech on his back.
Like he's got him in like Alabama Slam position.
Yeah.
And Cheech is just stuck, and he's walking around with him on his back, telling Grado what to do. I thought that was hilarious.
Because it starts with Colin telling Colt, he's like, no, it's the Destroyer. You got to do it. He's like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
That whole moment was worth the
he's got
price.
Cheech on his back for 45 seconds at least. Yeah.
A lot of fans are saying that was like their favorite match they've seen in a long, long time.
I would believe that.
I didn't see any
Well,
of
it was comedy, but it was still quick. It still had a flow to it.
Yeah,
you know?
Cheech and Colin were still able to be Cheech and Colin as they would wrestling.
Yeah.
And but then able to show their
It was
personality and
ridiculous,
be
but it
funny
was-
too.
Yeah, it was still a good match.
Yeah. It was fun and entertaining.
couple old vets in there.
That's right. It was hey, all you young kids in the AIW school, go back and watch that match because
Oh, they got to work on their 630s, man.
that's how you do wrestling.
Plus some grizzled young veterans in that
They got
match.
to work on their 630s. They got no time for that.
Grizzled young veterans, not doing a ton of crazy stuff, but wildly entertaining.
Entertaining the people.
That's
I was
right.
entertaining. I was entertained,
You were entertained?
and I am the people, or I was part of the people.
You ain't never been the part of the people it's been like
Well,
20 years that they got that Duke money.
Most of the people are beneath me, but
Oh,
at this show, I was amongst the people. I had a disguise on of some sort.
Oh, speaking of crazy things, the next match had Joey Janela with his finger back in place.
Yes.
Since the last time we saw him, I think. And he was taking on Sanjay. Speaking of Sanjay, for the Intense title. That had some craziness to it, but a fun match.
When Sanjay walks through the door, man, he's just hot fire. As soon as he walks, that motherfucker just goes.
When he comes through the curtain,
I am so impressed. No, when he walks, I mean, when when he comes in, he's so happy.
Oh,
happy
yeah,
to see
yeah.
everybody.
He's got that
and
energy.
He's ready to go. And then when he walks through that curtain, man, that motherfucker just goes. I can't say a bad word about that guy.
I don't think people appreciate his in ring as much as they probably should.
No, they don't.
yeah, I think people were definitely downplaying how that match was going to be, which, you know, if you watch Impact Wrestling, he's just coming off of being X Division champion. And if you're like me and you watch that from time to time, you would be able to know,
Well,
like,
that's
oh,
the thing.
man,
Like,
dude goes
when
hard.
he was here before.
Yeah.
I don't think he was on TV as much.
There was
There was definitely a gap where he wasn't.
I can't remember who it was. A 4-way he worked, and he worked a million miles an hour.
Yeah,
and I even said it to him after the show. I'm like, dude, you really fucking came out blazing. He's like, hey man, that's how you do it or whatever. And we were laughing about it, and then now he's got the run and on TV and everything else, and then he still comes in. And I've actually never seen Joey wrestle. For as many times as you guys have brought him in, because he's always on late, and I've always got a flight to catch, or I got to work the next day, or
This
whatever.
guy's got a flight to catch.
Comic-Con.
Well, the last couple of shows, I went to Comic-Con, I went to Vegas. I'm leaving. I leave at 6 o'clock in the morning, so I can't go hang out at the Funhouse till 4 like everybody else. So I go, but
Just go straight to the airport like Swoggle.
yeah.
No. And I've never seen the dude wrestle, and they was great. I mean, they were going nonstop.
Yeah, I think that was the perfect mix, because Janela is like the old school indie wrestling fan and like grew up watching guys like Sonjay Dutt tear it up. So I think Janela really wanted to have like a fucking banger with Sonjay Dutt.
Well, especially because for Joey, the last time we saw him was the Glacier match, and he has his finger just getting completely annihilated, and I know that he felt like he did not get to perform that he wanted to, obviously, with how that match went afterwards. So he, in his mind, I think he really had something he wanted to give extra in this one, coming right back to AIW.
Yeah, and it was fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Next one, we go just right into even more action, and we get our MMA style, Dom Greeny and Filthy Tom Lawler.
Filthy Tom coming out in all bondage gear.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
a lot of S&M
he's a
action.
good dude too. I like Tom a lot, but
He loves you.
I don't know why, but yeah, but I never know what you're gonna get.
He wanted you to come to his house in Vegas.
I didn't even think of it when I was out there, and he's like, "You're in Vegas and you didn't tell me," and I was like, when I initially read that, I was like, shit, I think he's mad. I probably should have said something. I was like, oh crap. And then I was like, oh well, I figured you were in training. So
He loves the Duke. He's the only one.
So
Tom Lawler loves the Duke. It's like one of his top humans in the world.
did Tom Lawler pitch you his corner man's idea?
I don't know.
So Tom Lawler, his corner man, believes that you and I and maybe one or two other people are the board of directors.
Oh yeah, he thinks there's a board of directors. I know that. The corner man.
Corner man thinks there's a board of directors for AIW.
So, I mean, what's wrong with that, or what's right or wrong with that?
He was inquiring about a purchase.
Hey, he wants to buy a seat on the board.
Oh, we could create one, I guess. Why? Yes, it's right over here.
We'll discuss these details off the air. But I look, I'm down in the locker room, and I look, and Tom Lawler's got all this leather on, and he's like, hair or no hair? Well, he's got this mask on, and I don't know who it is. And then he lifts the mask up, and he goes, hair or no hair? I go, what the fuck are you wearing, man? And like, he just pulls the mask down. He goes, I was feeling horny.
He's a weird dude, man, but it's great.
That was it. He just said he's feeling horny.
Comes out to
Fuck you like an animal?
yeah,
Or
closer, 9 Inch
yeah,
Nails.
yeah.
He's got bones to throw at the bone collector, Dominic Guarini.
He he goes all in. I mean, you got to give it some. Whatever he's doing, he goes all in.
He told me he had multiple ideas. I couldn't remember what they were as I was driving with him to the venue.
Tom Lawler has really fucking become part of the AIW culture.
Oh, rapidly. Like
100%.
He just got folded in like so easily.
Probably the fastest adopter to what we are.
Yeah.
You almost don't want him to go back to UFC.
No.
He ends up missing his flight the next day.
Oh, did he?
Because he does not do any sort of partying. He like stays on a strict like fighter's diet at all times. But he says he just gets wrapped up in the AIW after parties. And I wake up to a Twitter DM and is like, "Fucking missed my flight. I blame you in the funhouse."
Well, it's
and his corner man was not there that night.
Yeah, he didn't
and
have
that's usually who keeps him in check.
Well, is he his corner man 24 hours a day? I mean, or it's just for
he's
fights?
a corner man for fights and in life, I think.
Well, that's what you're at. It's basically what you're saying. He's a corner man all day.
So the corner man is originally from Cleveland.
Right.
So that's why he like always comes back. But he had real life stuff.
And while on the topic of the after party, I mean, it was crazy. The show was successful. Everyone is the place was packed. Everyone is having a fucking wild time. I knew that I had exceeded my limitation of drinking and being tired after the night before with Grado, and then the show, and then the after party. And Grado had left early, and I remembered what Grado's hotel room was. So everyone's like, "Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go?" And I said, because everyone wanted to like come to my house or get like a hotel.
Yeah.
Or like everyone's like waiting for me to make my move. And I said, "Grado's throwing a party in room 112 at the whatever." And I just went home and I just didn't talk
I got
to
tacos
anybody.
and went home.
They all showed up and knocked on his door.
I have no idea. I was eating tacos.
They all showed up there. He's like, "What the fuck, man? I'm trying to sleep."
Man.
I told the Grado the next day though, I said I had to pull a rib on you. I had to fucking,
Hopefully there were no fans there.
Which
oh yeah, there's probably a couple.
real quick on the Funhouse too, because I don't think I've ever
The
given.
Funhouse is shockingly expensive.
No, what are you getting there?
I was drinking beer. And
Really?
I think I bought you a frozen drink, and I think I
Well,
bought.
those frozen drinks are expensive.
Are
yeah.
they?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot.
Like $3 a piece. And
Depending on which
I don't
frozen
have
drink
many.
you get, they
Oh.
can be. But yeah, it's because there's a lot. They throw a
I
lot
was
in there.
The coolest thing that I want to go back to the Funhouse, like when it's not full of people. The coolest thing I thought was they had the little video game systems in the tables.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
All, like
yeah.
80s video games.
Like Asteroid or
I
whatever.
was totally
could
fucking
play that.
pumped for that. I was like, holy shit, this is cool as shit.
Yeah.
But I couldn't play them because A, I was half in the bag, and B, it was full of people.
I like the whack-a-mole game that they got in there.
But real quick shout out to Sean Jaundice, who is initially set that up for us, and I don't think I've ever given him props on the podcast here. So he was the man who hooked us up with the Funhouse initially.
I think people enjoy their time at the Funhouse.
I think they do.
I think they got to, as with most places we go to, they're never prepared.
Yeah.
I think they got to, that's
First
the night they got to call in somebody extra on the shift is when we have the after party.
First time they were definitely not prepared. They admitted it. This time I think they thought they were prepared.
They had more people there than the last.
Well, I was there this time, so you know,
definitely had
that's
more people
one
there.
More person at least.
Then I fuck it all up when I just order $100 worth of shots right off the rip.
Yep, that happens every time.
Pedro gives me an after party allowance now. It's part of the payoff sheet.
Our financial advisor.
Yeah.
You got to spread it out amongst the boys and have a good time.
Absolutely. And anything further to say? Touch on the Greenie and Tom Lawler.
I mean,
It was a style of match that they wanted to have.
it starts slow, but the home stretch is fucking unreal.
Yeah, I mean the crowd was into it. That's the style of match that you expect to start slow, though, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And
I just think modern wrestling palates aren't as accustomed to the slow start anymore.
Well, no, they're not. But because it was Dominic and Tom, the crowd will allow them to do that, and they'll wait and they'll go, okay,
yeah,
something's coming, whatever. It was two dudes they never heard of. They wouldn't have given a shit, and it would have sucked because that's how the crowd is. The crowd's very fickle. And but because it was those guys, they were like, all right, it'll get somewhere. So you may entertain us this way now. That's basically what they said. Which is shitty, but that's how they operate.
like they were they were sitting there with anticipation the entire time
because they knew something was going to happen.
And Which, oh, by the way, that the whole introduction thing, not my idea. That was presented to me and requested and asked that I do it in such manner.
Oh, yeah. No, that's
yeah.
fine.
So I was like, all right, let's do this.
Look, Steve Guy, we like it when you show personality sometimes,
yeah,
Sometimes you do a little too much,
but
though.
not when you go off on your own.
yeah.
If someone asks you to do it,
right, that was requested.
we're good with that. But when you start creating things on your own because you think it's clever, that's when you just fuck up.
I don't think I've ever created anything on my own
You've
in
tried.
terms of
You've tried.
ring announcing.
You've tried, Steve Guy.
I don't know about creating, but sometimes you crack a joke.
Yeah.
You
'Cause
crack a
just
joke
think
out of
it's funny
line.
And,
Oh, I just do. Yeah, sometimes I'll say something in between because there's some awkward
I think you're used to being a host,
silence.
a host of things.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
not a host. You're an announcer.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
But I also know that none of that makes it to DVD.
Yeah, but sometimes
When I make
it
those.
throws the crowd off a little bit, or we'll throw Traxler off, who thinks that you're
Well,
Oh, yeah.
which doesn't take.
that's easy to do. Just
Yeah.
put a piece of pizza on the ramp.
That's your boss, man.
Yeah,
I
it's
know. I love
rude.
Traxler.
Can't believe that. Can't
He
believe you'd
knows-
say
he knows. I'm just kidding.
such a thing. I actually just now even I forgot about the 10-man just got out of control that I had to sit on the guardrail for that match because they kept shoving the table over further up to the side.
yeah,
And
well,
the
they
chairs,
didn't
I'm
wanna
like-
land on it,
I'm
yeah.
like, I don't know. And they're like, Steve, keep pushing the table. Push the table back more. I'm like, I'm out of room here. Okay. And then our final match of the night is the championship match. Tim Donst, Hot Sauce Tracy Williams, and Lewis Linden. A bit of a rematch, so to speak, from Absolution minus Josh Prohibition. I mean, this one delivers too, though.
Yeah, I was very happy with this match. You know what I mean? They did a lot of fucking crazy shit. Like at one point, I look and like Lewis Linden is on Tracy Williams' shoulders on the floor, and Donst does a suicide dive, and I was like, "What the fuck are you guys thinking?"
That's right.
And it was pretty quick. It got weird quick.
Yeah, it escalated quickly.
If I'm remembering correctly.
It did. How worried were you? Because we knew that Don's bled all over at the end of Wrestle Rager. We've got this new canvas debuted at Cool as Ice.
Oh, that's right. We forgot to mention that. By the way, everyone was thrilled.
Yeah.
I'm invested.
All the boys were thrilled?
All the boys were thrilled.
I'm investing in the company.
Yeah, as these
Good.
shows have been profitable.
Biggins would have never allowed a canvas like that.
As the shows have been profitable, the board of directors
Yes.
is asked,
we held a vote.
John Thorne pitches to the board of directors. What do you guys think about this? And
I was okay with it. I
we
was
say,
good with it.
let's try that. That's where
Actually-
we could use some money.
The profits from the school bought the new canvas.
That is true.
The canvas was a necessity. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was starting to get.
Our thing always was
Unless we could wrestle in a venue that's always 50 degrees.
right.
That's the biggest
we
issue.
needed it.
Yeah.
So I mean, you might see the black canvas return sometimes, but for the most part, it's probably going to be that one. But the thing that was,
I tell you what everybody said, not to cut you off, but everybody said it sounded better.
and everyone said that the ring wasn't as stiff as usual.
Yeah,
with that.
but the bumps sounded,
Yeah,
It
it's
did. It
louder.
was
The
louder.
ring's
Yeah,
louder.
Yeah.
which is true.
But our big thing was always, it's hard to clean those actual canvas
Yeah.
and keep them
It is.
sanitary.
It's true.
Yeah.
Which with the vinyl canvas, we were able to sanitize at every event and keep things healthy that way,
Right.
as opposed to having a ring that's full of staph infections and stuff like
very
that.
true. That's very true.
So that was always our mindset. But
just, I mean, the flip side of it got exposed at Absolution, that it was just so, when it gets wet, it was
right. No, I know. So that's
couldn't
why
do anything.
That's why I figured, hey, we've been paying the debts off that were acquired. Let's make a little investment, and if we're at that point, you know what I mean, to where it's going to be hot and things like that, like we got this canvas, it's going to be better for everybody. But obviously, at like a Wrestle Rager show, you're going to see that vinyl canvas no matter what, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Well, if you got a match like the, a hardcore Bloodfest,
Or
obviously you're going to want
when someone's going to be drinking beer in there or
Right.
something,
Well, I purposely threw that beer out of the ring so it didn't get on the canvas.
Well, I'm
Someone's
just
gonna
saying.
Someone's gonna have beer spit at them in there.
I threw it. I threw it at Justin Summers, not at him, but he happened to be there. But I was like, when I grabbed it, I'm like, okay, I can either knock this out of his hand and spill it in the ring and then have a huge problem, or I can just fire it into the crowd.
We're going off a little bit, but
Yeah.
how did that feel at Wrestle Rager when the Sandman is making his way to the ring and you're there?
Oh, it was cool as fuck. I mean, how could it not be? When I'm standing out there and everybody was, I could barely even talk. Like I was trying to say things and you could make out some of the things I was saying, but the crowd was so loud, booing me and whatever else, that I couldn't hardly get anything out that made, like I couldn't go on a lengthy diatribe that would make sense. I had to like spot pick things like window guy and the people on the shed and
marijuana.
And the marijuana. I did smell marijuana, by the way.
I did too.
That's why I said it. I'm like, oh, marijuana. And but then when I did the challenge and you hear the dum 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 dum, and everybody goes fucking crazy, dude. I mean, if you watch me, I was fucking smiling. I mean,
Yeah.
And then as he's walking around and he's doing the balcony thing, and then when he goes over to fucking Nana Singh and she gets the "She's Hardcore" chant. I mean, that was fucking hilarious. And then
How did you feel when he's standing across from you? Because you were a little nervous. You're a little apprehensive about it.
I didn't know what he wanted to do. I knew I had to go to work the next, Monday, and I didn't want to go with a giant welt on my head because I'm like, I saw what he did to Flanagan the one time you guys brought him in for EFW, and I saw what he did before. I'm like, I really don't want to get knocked in the head for no fucking reason. And I didn't know he was cleaner, shall we say?
Yeah, I don't think he drinks anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know that, so
I didn't know it either. I mean,
I'm thinking he's gonna get drunk,
or maybe he was just well behaved because he drove himself to the show, but he was very well behaved.
Well, I was thinking we were going to have a match, and I was like, I don't want to have a match with this guy because I don't know what the fuck he's going to want to do, blah, blah, blah. And then we get there, and you were like, he's really cool, or he's in a good mood. So I go talk to him, and the first thing out of his mouth is, he goes, maybe not the first thing, but he says at one point, he goes, I'm not going to hit you in the head. He goes, nobody cares about that. They just want to see the entrance. He goes, do the thing. I'll give you one in the gut and one on the back, and that's it. And I came up with the idea for him to get in the ring because I'm like, I don't want to just run at you when you get in.
Yeah.
Go, why don't we face off and you can like spit beer at me and I can feed around and then you can go gut. And he's like, that's perfect. He goes, just make sure you get good heat and then I'll come out and we'll do the thing. And so we do the thing. Bang, bang, I roll out. Everybody's chanting one more time. So I stayed by the apron. I'm like, okay, fine. He comes running around, whacks me again. And then they were chanting it again. And I looked to see where he was. And he was on the other side of the ring. And he wasn't coming at me. So I was like, fuck it. And I just left. And he's like, great promo. You got great heat. He goes, it was fun. I was like, cool. And then he was gone.
Thank God for window guy. Duke doesn't know how to get heat. Without a window guy, wouldn't have had it.
He was Worldwide's first draft pick for that show.
Yeah. Then there was a second window guy behind him.
Yeah.
Window guy's eating Chinese food. I'm like, what the fuck?
You
What
got
are you eating Chinese food
You got a
for?
lot of chants started from that promo, actually.
Yeah.
I think a lot of
Hey.
them came from there.
Dumpster
Kids, maybe? I don't know. Were they there for you?
Dumpster kids were not
That
on the
wasn't
dumpster
yours.
when I was
Yeah,
out there.
That's right.
Because the Sandman used the dumpster for his entrance.
That's right. That's right.
That dudes from Appalachia that were on like the barn.
They were on the barn, yeah.
hiding from a flood. They were there, and then window guy was there, and then black guy on the porch was there, and then second window guy was there, and then the marijuana. I got the marijuana smell. I got a
You got the
narc chant.
Dukes of Narc chant.
I got a narc chant, which is great. And then I was like, "Where's the party tonight, fellow teens?" But I don't think anybody heard me say that.
Also, since this is the first time we've really talked about it with you, there's photo evidence that Duke was punched in. Duke was on the clock.
No.
Oh yeah.
No, not at all. I was talking to a girl. I went down to get a DVD.
Virtual Pros, very popular podcast.
I know, that's fine. They can think what they want. I mean,
They had evidence. They were documenting.
no, I saw it. I saw the picture. But I went. All the DVDs were down there, so I went down to grab a DVD from an old show. And she was cleaning the bar. I talked to her for 5 minutes, and I walked away.
Punched in, looked your type.
Didn't ask. Didn't ask for any details. Didn't ask for anything. Just left.
What'd you talk about?
Actually, she was asking. We never got into it, but she said she needed accounting help for something, and
Punched in. Punched in.
and I don't even. Like I said,
Accounting, you say?
what you say? Oh,
Accounting, you say?
she didn't. She didn't touch on the details, and then I just said, "Okay, cool," and I walked away. That was it.
No numbers exchanged?
No, didn't even ask.
Emails?
No punching in.
OK Cupid profiles?
No, I was punched out. I got a day off. Even Jesus God got a day off. I took a day off.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're gonna have to look back to this Bob Evans lunch from today.
Oh, it might have been her.
Might have been her.
That might have been the work
That's
thing.
Steve Guy, when you have a job, you break up the day and you go to lunch in the middle of the day to feed yourself to continue the rest of the day. I understand you don't have one of those.
No, I get paid to do multiple things.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurial sorts.
None of them are jobs.
Yeah, they are. I'm like
Okay, Steve Guy.
What is it? What's the independent?
You're an entertainment handyman. Is what you are, Steve.
No. What's no? I run a couple people's I help them with their marketing, social media now.
You're an entertainment handyman.
That's not entertainment.
Social media is an entertainment. What kind of?
I guess it's marketing. I do for
marketing.
establishments.
And are they entertainers?
No.
What are they?
Restaurants.
All right. Okay. So you're a
it's a marketing thing.
You're a social media handyman.
I guess.
You do whatever. Yeah.
Sure.
You'll fix anybody's porch or unclog their toilet for them on social media.
I know how to do that stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we've gotten
What's
completely off
that
topic.
called when you're what's the form?
What's the form?
When you're
1099.
1099. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know what the hell you were talking
Oh,
about.
thank God the non-accounting guy knew my answer.
That reminds me,
Okay. No, we're not talking about this on the podcast.
I got to show you some of my. I got some things in the mail. My taxes weren't.
Got some
hooked up to
financials
code.
in your look
Oh,
at?
they were fine. Shut up.
No, I got to show you this stuff off the air.
Okay.
Oh man.
All right.
So anyway, we had a championship match. Then that was a lot of fun. Nick Gage rolls out once again.
By the way, in case you didn't know, Nick Gage is gang affiliated.
Dude, that was the best. That was the best.
I thought. Now we talked previously that he wanted to make sure the Absolution promo was okay because he was trying to clean things up a bit. And then he comes out and he's
He came out firing.
he was firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, he was.
Going at the crowd a little bit.
I'm gang affiliated. I'm proud of it.
East Block or C Block or what was
Hate
it?
Club,
Hate Club.
MDK,
Oh yeah.
Block C.
East Side, East something.
Dude, I don't
East
know.
Enders, East
But I was
something.
standing with Sonjay Dutt, and we lost it at that line. He got some boos, though, from
Well,
the crowd for that.
that's why he said it. That's why he went off because he's like, "Fuck you, people."
Yeah,
all
he got
the real
some boos.
AEW fans have been down with me from day one. Know who I am or whatever.
Gang affiliated,
or know
I'm
what
proud
I'm
of it.
about or something. Yeah. And then it
Oh,
just
man.
went off the rails.
Unbelievable.
Oh yeah, I think he threatened. I think he said the AIW's owners know that if anybody wants to come at me,
Yeah.
they know what's going to happen. He's like MDK.
Yeah, he
I'm
was
like,
trying
oh,
to say,
man.
I think, in a roundabout way that he has clearance to fight anyone he wants.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I think that was what he was saying.
Yeah,
I don't know if his parole officer agrees with that, but
yeah. That was pretty much tossing that out there though. But nonetheless, wildly entertaining and setting up hell on earth for us with Nick Gage, Tim Donst,
main event.
main event.
He did set that up very well.
Did a great job.
Perhaps the rest of his gang will show up.
Oh God. Let's hope not. Well, we already touched on portions of the after party, so we don't have to go too deep there. It was a great time.
That place needs more parking. That's all I'm going to say about that.
They just finished parking lot.
I had to park at Taco Bell.
Yeah, they just finished the parking lot. Taco Bell probably was the safest place that you could park that night because earlier in the week or the week before.
Oh yeah, somebody got robbed it and they got shot in the head by all the workers. Yeah,
Yeah. Two people tried to rob it and 3 workers
and they found out.
shot them.
They found out what's
Yeah.
in that $5 box isn't just a gordita.
3 workers were armed at that Taco Bell.
Hey.
How about that? So that's going to pretty much do it for the Cool as Ice episode here of AIW's The Card is Going to Change for the Duke and John Thorne. My name's Steve Guy. We hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll talk to you next week.
I wasn't a bitch that one night.
You are still a bitch.
I was not.
You're still a fucking
You're
bitch.
such a fucking liar.
Let's go outside.
All right.